All right, thanks for joining me. I wanted to walk you through this update on the multi-staff schedule. There's been a lot of great new changes and features, so I wanted to take you through it. This is the setup screen we're going to show you first, and a lot of the changes are here. One of the most important changes is the ability to import data from a prior version. And that means every version after this one I give you, you're going to be able to import data from it. So when I make add new features or make bug fixes, simply click the import feature here, and then you'll browse for the new version. And then you'll go ahead and find that new version, and then all the data from your older version will be imported in. So that is a very important feature, so I wanted to get that in. A lot of the things are the same. You can set what days of the week you want to work. I've increased the number of referrals here, as you can see, all the way to 50 of them, so that's a lot more referrals. As well as you can also set the cost of the referral. A lot of times when you're doing advertising and marketing, you have a specific cost that you do that, and the reason I've done that is later on when we do the reports, you're actually going to get a cost per contact, cost per new customer, cost per new patient, and that's a really critical and very important feature, so I wanted to add that in. So in the coming releases, we'll be getting into those reports, and you can feel free to put your costs in here, and if those costs change, they can be updated here as well. The holidays are the same, and as well as we've now added payment terms, and these are going to come in handy on the invoices and the payment screen, and I'll go over that later. You can set your default term as well as the number of days for those payment terms. We have customer rebates. We can turn on or off them. They're the same as the before. However, you can apply, have these rebates applied to contacts with balances once they've referred somebody else. A new feature here is also the ability to set the contact status as inactive if no appointments are within the last, and you can set the number of days. That's going to actually be in black there. And so you'll be having, that way contacts will be set automatically so you can differentiate between active and inactive contacts, and that's going to really help when we do the reports. We can run lots of different reports based on those two types of contacts. The custom drop-down list, we've given you the ability to add the name here as well as the contents of those custom drop-down lists. Just as with the older version, we have up to 4 custom fields for each context in which you can change here. We also have payment types. We have a new payment screen, which I'll show you a little bit later on, and in which here you can set your payment types up to 6 different payment types, and you can set a default payment type just by selecting which is your default. When a new payment is created, this default payment type will be set. We have new contact defaults, and this is really helpful. I've added this in so that when you do create a new contact or new patient or new customer, any defaults that you set here, they'll automatically be set up for that new contact or patient, so that setting up new ones are much quicker. We've added additional company information here. This helps with email management and addresses, as well as Google mapping links, which help our contacts find us when we send them a link on there. We have the main folder for attachments. These are contact attachments. That hasn't changed. And as well as the PDF invoices, what folder we want those invoices stored at. A new feature here is we have a new feature, the ability to create all invoices in a single day on a click of a button, which is great. No matter how many appointments you've scheduled, you can quickly create appointments for all of those, and I'll show you those in a minute. But once they're created, we have the ability to whether we want to save those invoices as a PDF, whether we want to print them, or whether we want to send them via an email. So that's a really handy feature. We also have the ability to add appointment packages, and this is really handy when we are selling packages and we want to track the number of remaining packages for our patients or contacts. So that's really helpful when we sell package dealers. So now we can go ahead and track those. And if you don't use this feature, you can just unselect there. And also we can mark those packages as used after when we've created an invoice, or if we've actually scheduled an appointment. So you have the ability to choose there. And those are the new items from the setup screen. We'll go ahead and continue to the contacts after this. Okay, the contacts are primarily the same. However, we have added the ability to add up to now 10,000 contacts, so that's a big improvement. We've also added a few new items on for the contacts as well as the staff. We've added remaining packages so we know how that We can know how many remaining. And we have a defaults. We have our default appointment type, which is really handy when we're scheduling, and I'll go over that in a bit with you. And as well as most of the other informational data you can pull from each contact, as well as the filters. If we want to filter a name, we can just go ahead and filter by name and it'll easily filter for us. Or we can also open a selected contact, so that's no problem at all. Next up is the staff schedule. This is a brand new screen. I wanted the ability for you to be able to really fine detail your staff schedule as far as who's scheduled on what day and for what time. The first part is the weekly staff schedule, and this is a little bit familiar, but basically for each day of the week you can set the number of staff. So here, if we want to schedule just a single staff, we can do that, or we can schedule all 4 staff. And then we can choose which staff on which day, and if it is all the same, you can just simply use the copy button and copy that over to the next day. So it's really quick setting up. And the other part is once you do that, you want to update your staff schedule, and you can just do that. You can select which year you want it updated for, if we're currently on 16. And we'll just go ahead and it'll ask us, do you want to set it up for the entire year? In other words, replace everything, or just from the current date? So if we only want it from the current date, we'll just click no, and that'll update the staff from the current date on. Okay, next up we have the individual staff scheduling. This gives you the ability to fine-tune your staff's schedule. All you'd have to do is select which staff you want to adjust their schedule. You can go ahead and set a start and an end time for each individual day. And then you can also set a break time. So we can set a specific time frame for breaks or off, or if their schedule is busy. We can set any day off of the week. We can do a staff off if they're off in particular, or if it's a company holiday, so that we can differentiate between their off days and the company. We can also copy over information from each staff. So the changes are saved automatically, and this gives you the ability to really determine every individual working half an hour or 10-minute or every period from each individual staff. So that's a great way, and the changes here are reflected both in the main and week view schedules. Next up is the email automation. This is a brand new screen with tons of great new features I'm really excited to show you. And basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you the ability to create many emails either automatically or manually or semi-automatically, and then have the ability to customize those emails at pretty much any trigger you want. So what we do, if I've created a selection of email types myself, and basically just by selecting from the table below, all the details of the email appear above. And we'll go ahead and take a look at this one. Let's say this is called a new contact save, and we can select from many different triggers here, many different ones, whether it's a follow-up, whether the first appointment's scheduled or a follow-up appointment, whether there's a contact birthday, a new invoice, a report. So all these different triggers can result in an email. Okay, so for this one, what we've done is this is a new contact save. So that means every time we save a new contact, we're going to have an email sent out, and we're going to send it to the contact email. We can put a BCC if we want to send that to someone else as well. We can include a subject and a message. Now the subject and the message can contain any one of these data fields, and basically once you put in like contact first with in this format, it'll be actually replaced by the actual contact first name. So the data values in these fields will change based on the type of trigger. So if it's an invoice type of an email, it would include invoice balance, invoice amount, payment amounts, and things like that. So they're dynamic based on the type of trigger. And so what we can do is we can pause this and we can resume it. We can put attachments in it, like if we want to attach something specific, we can just attach any type of a document we want. If we need to remove an attachment, we just select it and click the X and it'll remove the attachment. And some emails, like when we have an appointment scheduled, we can also create one of those create an add to calendar attachment. What this is those little attachments that usually end with .ics, and when your contact gets those, they can just double click those, or whether it's on their phone or their computer, and it automatically adds into their Outlook or iPhone calendar and even Gmail. So that's a great little, so when you select this option, that attachment's automatically going to be in there, and you can include other attachments as well. And this little option here says display and preview before sending. I always recommend we want to display those emails. That's going to mean it's going to, once that email is created, it's going to be shown on your computer, and then you go ahead and click send. And once you know the format is correct and you know that everything is looking good, you can unselect that and then update those email templates. And once it's updated, it's going to be sent automatically. So you won't have to worry about that. You can change any type of a text in here. If you need to go to a different line, you just use the Alt and then the Enter key, and then you can go to the next line below. And so you can type any type of a text you want within the email template. So email templates, and we have them for follow-up scheduled. We've got them for contact birthday. We've got them for unpaid invoice. And let's take a look at this one. This is the unpaid invoice. So what we're going to do is we've created a trigger for this. It's on the unpaid due date, and we've given it a name. The name is 5 days overdue. You can give it whatever name you want. And what we're going to do is we said we want to send this email 5 days, and we can change this from minutes, hours, months, days, weeks, or months. So we have a lot of flexibility in when this thing goes out. So in this particular one, we were going to be sending that out 5 days after the unpaid due date. So this email is going to be sent automatically. And with this particular one, we also have a PDF invoices. They're automatically attached and sent. So that's a great feature if you want to have that sent automatically. We have them for remaining packages. We also have something called a specific workday time. This particular feature, email trigger, has a lot of flexibility because basically you can set up to send whatever you want whenever you want. So we've called this a weekly report, and that means every 1 week, and we can set this to any type of interval we want at a specific time on Mondays. And now we decide what do we want to send. Do we want to send a schedule? Do we want to send a report? And if we select a schedule, we can select the next day schedule, let's just say that, or we can select a specific report. If we're going to select a specific report, we click here, and then we have the choice of all the reports that we want sent, and these are the ones that are in the report screen. So we can actually select any type of report, and that report will be generated on Mondays at 8 a.m. and emailed to whoever you have set up in here. So that's a really powerful feature. Any changes you make, you just click update, and they're saved and set. You can pause, as with any email integration. You can start and stop it at any time. And that's pretty much it for the email screen. There's a lot of triggers. Take a little time, have a look through it. I'm excited to get your feedback on this particular new screen. Next up, we have a database of appointments and notes. And this is tables automatically generated, whether we're scheduling an appointment on the main screen or in the week view. And appointments and notes is automatically added to this table. And this gives us the ability to really search and seek out any appointment from any contact or for any staff at any time, which is really going to be helpful. And every single appointment, regardless of year, month, date, is going to be kept in here. So if we want to see all of the appointments for me, we can just select me, and it's going to filter down and show all the appointments for a specific person. And we can also filter that by date as well. Filter it by employee type. We can filter it by a specific note. If you're looking for a specific note, we can also filter it. Just simply type in here, click test, and then you can see it's filtered. So it's really a powerful feature. And this is going to come in really handy when we're trying to find specific appointments, so we can quickly get to see a list of appointments as well. So that's really going to be helpful. Next up, we have the appointment types and services. Not too much of a change in this. However, one important feature is we have added a lot. So now there is up to, you can add up to 150 different types of appointments and service items. So that's going to be really helpful for the people that have requested additional. So I've given that up a lot. Some thought. So you also have the ability to add packages now. You can tie specific. So when a customer makes a specific purchase, we can say, okay, this package is a 75. They've purchased 75, and that means when they use this, they use one each time. So you can set the number used and the number purchased per item, which is going to be really helpful. Next up, we have the main screen. Most of this is familiar, although I have added some new features upon request and streamlined it a little bit. Here we have the ability to see whether a contact is active or not. I have also added the ability to have the packages. If you're going to be using packages, this will be displayed here. However, if you go to the setup screen and you decide that you're not going to use the appointment packages, and when we go back to the main thing, you'll see the packages are not going to be there. So only if you require that feature, you will see it. Otherwise, it will be gone. One of the great features is when you select a contact now, we have the ability to see the last couple appointments for a specific contact. We can go ahead and also type in any notes here too, and those notes will be saved for that specific appointment. If we need to go to an appointment for that contact, we can just click here and click, and it'll automatically go to that appointment and on that date for the contact. So it's really easy to see to locate appointments in the past for a particular contact. So it's really helpful. I've also given you the ability to create all the invoices on a single day. Simply click the create all invoices, and all invoices of the scheduled contacts can be automatically created. You can also create a second step in this where you can add notes to those contacts before they get invoiced, as that was also requested. Another feature is we've added the today. You can quickly go to the current date just by clicking today. So that's it for this screen. Oh, there is another feature that we've given them for those contacts that don't want to receive emails. We have the opt-out feature, so they can opt out as well if they don't want to get that. So that's a handy feature. The attachments haven't changed. One very, very important feature is the ability I've added. Now we can add up to 75 different appointments per staff per day, 75. So that means we can schedule a total of 300 appointments on a single day. So that's a really big new feature and very important as it was requested. So that's it for the main screen, and we'll go ahead and go on over to the week view. Okay, next up we have the week view. Not too much change here, except we have extended the scheduling ability up to 75 appointments. And I've also added a this week button here so you can quickly get to the current week just a single click. We've streamlined the buttons a little bit, and we can also email proposed times, as we could do print schedule, change duration, and email a schedule from the buttons. Invoicing next, that is primarily the same for the most part, although I have had streamlined the features. It's now quicker to load and create new invoices, as well as emailing invoices is also quick, because it quickly will email the invoice to that and it'll attach it in a PDF formula, and then the format is based on the email template that we've set up in email automation. So you can see here it's been replaced by his name. We have the invoice amount, and so that's a really great quick feature. So I've improved and streamlined that a bit on that. And also, next up, we have a brand new screen called Payments. And this is great because you can then enter payments based on any invoice number. So all you'd have to do is enter new. We would just enter, select or enter an invoice number and select the payment amount. And then we can select a payment type, and then we would save that, and that new payment gets saved automatically. So it's very easy. We can also filter down. We can see payments for a specific date. We can see or for a particular invoice number if we want, or we can filter by contact simply by entering a name, and it'll filter out those contacts. So adding payments, filtering payments, viewing payments is very quick and very easy now. Next up, we have reoccurring. Not too much of change to this, except now we have the ability to add up to a few hundred recurring payments multiple years in advance, up to 10 years in advance and up to 400, I believe, different recurring. So that is actually a big change, although there's not too much change looking at the specific. We do have made small change when we edit the appointments. We can now click on the edit icon, or when we want to delete it, we can click on the delete icon. So that's changed a little bit there and improved functionality as well. Invoice list is just a list of the invoices. Once again, we can filter here by any particular, so we can any particular contact, or we can select and go to view it, and then we can also clear the filter. So not much of change in that. And then reports, we've added a few reports and stream like that. We've also added the ability on some reports to have a date range. So when we want to set a specific date range, we can select this. You can set a date range, and it'll go ahead and set these dates, or you can customize it to your own dates if you like, and then you'd have a custom date. So when we can then customize the dates for any report quickly and easily. That's it for the new features. I'm really excited. There's going to be a lot more to come. Thank you for joining me here, and I appreciate your time. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I would very much be happy for your feedback.